Okay, we're back for round two, and just wanted to mention a couple things on these formulas. You should have these formulas in front of you, and let's just talk about how this all works. This is the A part of direct materials variance, where this one's the price. There's two parts to the direct materials, and there's two parts to the direct labor. This is part A of materials, and it is known as the price variance. Basically what you're doing, what I want to point out, is you're taking the standard price, subtracting the actual price really paid, which could be higher or lower than the standard price, and you're multiplying to the actual quantity purchased. That's a key to just remember that when it comes to the price variance, it's not what was used, it's the amount purchased in the period that we're measuring. And this will give you either a positive or a negative number, favorable or unfavorable. Then you go to the materials quantity variance, and here what you're doing is you're taking the standard price as determined in the standard costing part of the work done for the budget, and you're taking that times the difference between the expected quantity, the standard quantity, versus the actual quantity, and this, in this case, is the amount used. Not the amount purchased, but the amount used. So we can actually measure the difference between what we thought we would use, which is here, versus what we did use, which is here, at the standard price. This will yield you either a positive number or a negative number, meaning favorable or unfavorable, and the two numbers, the price variance and the material quantity variance, they'll be added together or netted together. They'll actually be netted together. So you net the two, whether they're both positive, both negative, or one's positive and one's negative. You net the two together, and whatever you get, if you get a positive number, that means it's a favorable variance overall for materials. And if you get a negative number when you net the two together, it means, you figured it out. Wow, good. Okay. All right. When it comes to, these are examples which you can go through in the slide. When it comes to the labor variances, it's important to remember that there's an A and a B here. By the way, back here there was an A and a B. This was the A, the price variance, and this was the B part, the quantity variance with materials. Again, price variance with materials, quantity variance with materials. When it comes to labor, we are going to have an A, price variance, and a B, quantity variance. Same concept, they'll get netted together the same way we did with the materials. The only difference is on labor. All right. Now, when it comes to the formula for direct labor price variance, which is based on the hourly rate that we're paying our employees on the job, we're going to take the standard rate that we expected to pay, see what the difference is between that and the actual rate paid. It could be higher or lower, yielding either a positive number or a negative number, and you're going to multiply it times the actual hours incurred. Here we don't have a purchased versus used, it's just the actual hours. It's always, and the problem will tell you how many hours were incurred. Actual hours. And this will give you the price variance, the direct labor price, or the direct labor rate. That's another terminology for it. Same thing, direct labor rate variance. So you should know that there's an alternative way of describing it. And then when it comes to the B, the second part, the quantity, this is also known as the direct labor efficiency, because the less hours you use could show that you're being more efficient. It's not really clear that that's always the case, but that's the idea. If you can do something faster, you're more efficient. How this is calculated, use the standard rate of what we expected to pay, not the actual rate we paid, but the standard rate, so we can measure the actual difference between the standard number of hours we expected to spend on the product versus the actual hours. And again, there's no difference between purchased hours or unused hours. It's all actual hours incurred. And we're just taking the difference between the two and multiplying times the standard rate to measure the efficiency. This will yield either a positive number or a negative number. This will yield either a positive number or a negative number. The positive is favorable, the negative is unfavorable. You net the two together, and you'll either get a positive or a negative for total direct labor variance. All right. I'm going to have more to say on overhead tomorrow. So look for that. Coming attractions.